Get ready for Robert F. Kennedy to be the health czar. Yes, today Donald Trump announced that Robert F. Kennedy will be his choice for Secretary of Health and Human Services. And the reaction to that wasn't so good from those employees at the Food and Drug Administration. Many who say they are considering a quick exit because in Robert F. Kennedy as health czar gives them cause to be concerned given the conspiracy theories that he has pushed around vaccines. And if he wins Senate confirmation, Matt Gaetz will become the next Attorney General with power to end the Justice Department's traditional independence from the White House and ensure that it is a reliable tool of Trump's political interests. Well, in addition to Matt Gaetz, Todd Blanche has been identified by Donald Trump as his choice for number two at the U.S. Department of Justice. Now, Blanche is a former supervising federal prosecutor in Manhattan, and he would come to the Department of Justice with a lot more experience than Matt Gaetz. And the attorneys who've been defending Rudy Giuliani in the case seeking to force him to turn over his assets to two former election workers have asked the court to allow them to be removed from his case. Without giving a lot of details, it's clear that those attorneys believe that Rudy Giuliani is a very difficult client to represent. And the Pennsylvania Senate race between Dave McCormick and Bob Casey is super close, so close that a recall or recount, I should say, has been triggered under Pennsylvania state law. And in other news today, President Donald Trump has set the stage for contentious Senate confirmation battles over some of his picks for his cabinet. Not only Matt Gaetz, but also Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, and Pete Hegseth as the head of our national security or our Defense Department. Where he would be over 1.3 million military troops, and that's active military troops. And Florida has continued to ban books. That is, about 700 books have been banned from school libraries in the 2023-2024 school year. Now, anyone in Florida, a parent or a resident, can make a claim that a book contains sexual content or what they deem pornographic content, and based on that claim, those books can be removed from school libraries across the state of Florida. This is the news of the day, and this is Areva Martin in Real Time, and I'm your host, Areva Martin. This is hour two of Areva Martin in Real Time, and in this hour, you are in for a treat. My good friend and KBLA host of Living in the Sweet Spot with Angelique Francis is here to hold down the second hour of Areva Martin in Real Time. Angelique has a very, very special show coming up live in Inglewood, California on Sunday. She's going to tell you all about that show, and she's going to be taking over hour two today. Hello, Angelique. How are you?
Eva Martin. Oh, girl, I know you got a lot going on. I'm excited about what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I am broadcasting live from Palm Springs, California. I'm about to participate in a city council meeting where a big decision will be made by the council on whether to resolve a case involving descendants and survivors of a racial atrocity that occurred in the 1950s and 60s. Unfortunately, the BNI News reported it as Palm Springs, Florida, but it is Palm Springs, California. Of course, I will keep you posted on all things Palm Springs, California. And have a great show, Angelique.
Thank you for tossing it over to me. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support always. And we're hoping for all good things to happen in Palm Springs. Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
All right.
Peace,
Have
my.
a good one. All right. Thank you. Well, I'm excited to be here, Reva Martin in real time, and she has passed the torch. And I'm excited. I have a show right here on KBLA. It's called Living in the Sweet Spot. And hopefully some of you are familiar with it. I come on at 3 o'clock on Saturday and 4 o'clock on Sunday. And we talk about some amazing things right here in the sweet spot. I define the sweet spot as the intersection between divine timing, divine power, and performance, all to accomplish a purpose. So I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in happen chance. I just believe that God and the universe sort of, whatever you believe, but I believe that things line up for a purpose, and that it's not accidental, and that some of the things that we go through is really to create an opportunity for us to grow, for us to learn, for us to live in a through a journey, right? And I believe that there's something called amor fati, which is love, not just the good things that happen to you, but sort of embrace the things that are difficult in your life so that you can understand that it's about the journey. It's about becoming better. And I am doing something so exciting. About a year ago, I bring people on my show that have gone through something. My shows talks about trials and tribulations to the triumphs, right? And how do people get through these incredible, incredible stories? I've had people come on that have had near-death experiences. I've had people who've gone to the Taliban to fight for women's rights. I've had people who have had fatal crashes. First African American man to have a full face transplant. I've had a woman come on who suffered the death due to the hands of her own ex-husband who murdered their child because he did not want her to have custody after a divorce. And how did she get on with her life? How did she move through that and still write a book to try to encourage you? I have talked to people who have survived lesser things like divorce and cancer survivors and people, but more importantly, I bring people on that have something to teach us, right? How did they get on the other side? So I had this brilliant idea and I said, how do I bring these incredible people who've gone through shootings and diseases and just sometimes looks like this Job life experience. How do I bring these people to you? So I decided to do a live show at the Miracle Theater about a year ago. And I just found normal, regular people who had these incredible stories right from our community. And it was called Sweet Spot Live. So I went to the Miracle Theater. We brought these people onto the stage. These people not only came willingly, but I coached them into these 10-minute stories. Some of them were funny. Some of them were really life-changing. One was out of incarceration. One had lived on the street as a prostitute. One was just talking about growing up in South Central LA. Somebody else was talking about perpetrating their lifestyle. Somebody else just really wanted to come on and tell a funny story. So we laughed, we cried, but more importantly, it was a packed house and it proved to me that you care about our stories. So there were your stories on stage and it was really refreshing. It was riveting. People sat on the edge of their seats. Well, we're doing it again this Sunday at the Miracle Theater. I don't want to leave you out. So you can get your tickets on sale right now at the Miracle Theater. You can go to the Miracle Inglewood.com to get your tickets. We've been giving away tickets here at KBLA. I'm going to give away if you call right now, Andy is on the boards. I'm going to give away 4 tickets right now, 2 tickets each. You call, I'm going to give you 2 free tickets. If the first 2 callers that call, I'm going to give them 2 tickets to each caller. I just want you to be there. I don't want you to miss it. So today we're going to talk about story. Story is the doorway. And I'm going to have one of my storytellers from last year come in. She's going to co-host with me. And I could not be more excited. Scratch that. Their pronouns are Jedi. Let me correct myself. That's Lindsay. That's Lindsay. Ivy Lindsay is going to come and co-host shortly. But let me just tell you why story is important. Story is the doorway. It is the way in. It's an invitation to step out of our own lives and into someone else's life. This is why I'm doing this live storytelling. It's a way to experience the world through someone else's eyes. And it's the way to feel the heartbeat of someone else, right? So story gives us something that we can have an ability to live sort of 1,000 lives besides our own life, right? So when you're sitting in these seats, I allow you to have this walk down a path that you might never get a chance to see otherwise, to encounter the struggles and the victories of someone else from their own eyes and from their own experience. That's what we're going to do on Sunday at 4:00 at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood. So we want to hear someone else's story and really hear it because it creates a shift in our own lives. We see the places that someone else has been, and we see it through their eyes. In turn, it gives us a new piece and a new place in our own selves, right? Through these stories, we start to learn and recognize and shared of humanity. And in those people, for the first time, we start to see their world. We start to empathize. We start to understand a piece of ourselves that we've never experienced before. So, what we're going to do today, I'm going to bring my storyteller on. We're going to talk about how this impacted their life, and we're going to talk about how it's going to impact your life. But more importantly, everybody has a story. What's your story? Your story matters. The community stories matter. In this time of uncertainty, I want us to reconnect with what's important to us, what's important to this community. One of our taglines here at KBLA is we got a lot to talk about. I care about your story. I care about you. So I'm inviting you to come sit with me at KBLA on Sunday at the Miracle Theater. You're going to meet some of the other KBLA hosts when you come there. When we come forward, we're going to meet Ivy, and we're going to talk a little bit about this subject. And I'm going to give you a little insight about what you're going to get on Sunday at 4 o'clock at the Miracle Theater.
We're not just a thermometer recording and broadcasting popular opinion. We aim to be a thermostat, transforming the conversation about climate justice in our community. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you are just joining me, If you're just joining me, I'm excited to be here. This is Areva Martin in real time, and I'm Angelique Francis, and I'm standing in for my girl. I am the host of Living in the Sweet Spot, and look, I am just honored to be here. This is a coveted spot, and I'm excited that she just trusts me right now. She's in Palm Springs doing her thing as a civil rights attorney. She is trying to get some justice, and I am proud of her. So, in the meantime, we're talking about upcoming Sunday. We're doing Sweet Spot Live at the Miracle Theater. I hope you will be there. It's at 4 o'clock on Sunday at the Miracle Theater. We are bringing community stories on stage. They are short, they are to the point, they are incredible. Some of them miraculous, some of them unbelievable. They will keep you on your seat and they will get you on your feet because they are incredible. We have some incredible stories. They're short and sweet, and you don't want to miss it. So listen, I have one of my storytellers from last year. I'm so excited. Ivy brought the house down, so I decided to bring Ivy to you. Let me tell you a little bit about my co-host today. Ivy Lindsay is originally from St. Louis, and Ivy, I don't even know if you know, Areva Martin is from St. Louis too.
Oh wow.
St. Louis, Missouri. Ivy came out of LA. Came out here for film school and has been working in production ever since for the last 20 years. What? You don't look but 22 yourself. In 2021, started her business, the Divers Club, an apparel and media company, and dedicated to her mother, Marilyn Marie. I want to hear more about that. And you're going to tell me a little bit about the Divers Club. It's based in mindset and willingness to go deep, without drowning in a world hidden by chaos and confusion. Oh man, you so deep. You so welcome to the Sweet Spot, aka Real Time.
Thank you for having me, Angelique. This is always fun to get together. I really enjoy you.
Oh, I enjoy you too. Well, you know what? We had such a great time at Sweet Spot Live last year. I thought I would bring you forward and we're going to talk about our experience. But more importantly, tell me a little bit about you, what the Divers Club is. I know that you are a creative producer and you're just amazing. And you're a great storyteller, a visual storyteller. And now you are a storyteller on stage. So tell me a little bit about your life and what brought you to LA.
Well, yeah, I am originally from St. Louis. I'm a Midwest kid, have a Midwest perspective. I think
what does that mean? What is a Midwest perspective?
I think people from the Midwest are very honest people for the most part. I mean, you got people like Maxine Waters and Dick Gregory who are from my town. You know what I mean? That they're not afraid to speak their minds and kind of, but still, I feel like very politically open too. You know, I think I'm from the show me state, you know, so really I'm more about what you show me than what you say.
Yeah. Two of my best friends are from St. Louis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're honest people and we like honesty no matter how it's being served, you know?
Okay, well, you serve it up. You're also very observant. I noticed that about you too.
I appreciate that.
You're an observer.
Yeah, there's a lot to be observed.
Okay, and now why the Divers Club? What's that all about?
That's something that my mom came up with. It's just something. It's a story that she used to tell me of fondness of being with me and as a kid and being able to, me being able to relate to her at a very young age. And she said she gave me my diver's license when I was like 6. And it was me having the ability to go through life without drowning, because it seemed like I was able to really understand and digest some of the very adult topics that she was dealing with, but just in terms of emotion, just in terms of feeling as a human being. So that's the origin of Divers Club. And then because I'm in the film business, I've named my company after it. And that's kind of like the type of subject matters and the type of films that I want to produce and be in. I want them to be a little richer, a little deeper quality. And I think that's what Divers Club is in a whole outside of the apparel that we have.
Well, that's interesting that you said that, because when I was jotting down some notes of what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to dive, to use your word, I wanted to dive deeper into the heart of what connects us as human beings. right? We're in a really strange place where it's been a lot of division in our country. But I wanted to talk about where we have some connectors, because the sweet spot is about this intersection of where we connect, right? This intersection of divine connection. And so today I want to talk about those powerful forces that connect us and create compassion and empathy. And that happens in story, right? That happened in Sweet Spot 1 and is about to happen in Sweet Spot number 2, Sweet Spot 2024, right?
Yeah.
And it's all happened at the Miracle Theater of all places, because I would actually venture to say there were some miracles that happened the first time around, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I think it was just a miracle I didn't faint on the stage. I wasn't, you know what I mean? Everything just kind of went dark once I was up there. And then after it was over, it was like, you did well. And I was like, I did. I don't remember what happened once I got up there, you know? So I would say that was a miracle in itself.
Well, you came so honestly and openly and authentic. Your story was so refreshing. So why don't you just give a little snippet of what your story was about?
Okay, so my story was about like the first time that I remember lying.
Lying.
And I think, yeah,
Right.
lying. Like, you know,
Wait, let's just back up for a second. So when I met you, I mean,
Yeah.
we worked together long. I mean, I have to tell you, I do have a gift, and that is I am intuitive about people. I don't always know why God brings you into my life. People say, where do I get these? How do I know who to interview on my show? Because I have these incredible interviews. I just know, like, God just places this unction in me, right? So, right, we met at this diner. I looked at you, you looked at me, and I said, I know you have a story. And you looked at me like, who's this woman? And I said, just call me, right? It was something like that.
Yeah.
And then I said, what do you want to talk about? And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. All right.
And then you said, lying, maybe?
Yeah, lying. I don't know. You know, it was the only thing. I don't know. It was like the only thing that it was like.
So you decided to talk about a lie, and then go ahead.
So so it was like what I recalled as to be my first time lying, and I was in middle school, and I was living in the suburbs of Chicago. I was like one of only a few Black families in the neighborhood. So I ran with these little white kids and a lot of little white boys, because I was a tomboy, you know. And we would go to this park in the neighborhood, and one time that we were at this park, it just happened to be like these 3 little girls up there, and you know, they were like these 3 little white girls or whatever, and one of them just kind of taking a liking to me, and she kind of started, you know, looking at me and stuff, and actually she was rather for it, and she ended up approaching me at that park, and to my surprise and to my friend's surprise, she approached me, and when she was referring to me, and she kept using the word he. Now, I think maybe somebody else might try to interrupt the person and tell them, hey, you're misgendering me. But for me, that was like a dream come true. So I went with it. You know what I mean? I went with it. And I, you know, I was just giving them the eyes, like, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? Don't say anything. And we just kind of went with that. So the next time that I was at the park, I basically got a girlfriend. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say it. You know what I mean? I think things went kind of fast, and we started kind of hanging out, and everybody, all my friends went with it. And as far as they knew it, my name was Evan, and I was a little boy, you know?
So, right. So fast forward, you went with the lie, and she thought you were a boy, but
she thought I was a boy, but there was
nobody knew who Ivy was, because you were going with the Evan.
Yeah, right. Nobody knew who Ivy was, but I did have challenges during this lie, you know, in a sense of, like, I think because I lived in Chicago, and at the time Chicago had really hot summers, you know what I mean? So while I'm hanging out pretending to be a boy, we decided we're gonna play softball. And what do boys do when it gets hot? You know what I mean? They take their shirts off. So I'm sitting here as the pitcher in the middle of the field, you know, and all the girls are watching us guys play ball, you know what I mean? And then, like, you know, one takes their shirt off, another takes their shirt off, and then I'm now just standing here in a sea of bare chests, and I can't do nothing about it. And I'm sitting here screaming, going, oh, you know what? I got to go home for dinner. You know what I mean?
What time of day was this?
It's 1:00 in the afternoon.
Right, of course. Okay.
You know,
So you missed that near death experience. Okay.
What, honestly, that was a deeply embarrassing moment. I'm laughing about it now, but that was that was deeply embarrassing. And I really thought after that my gig was up.
Right.
But when I got to the park, I hadn't known it. She wasn't the wiser at all. So
because she was 10. I think she was like 10, right?
Yeah. But I think at my time, this was serious. This was like I had sweat, running down my face. This was a really high alert type of situation. But yeah, she wasn't the wiser. So when I went back to the park, we just kind of carried things on, and things were pretty blissful for a good week. You know what I mean? Like she was bringing me freeze pops and pixie sticks, and we were pushing each other on the swings. And I mean, it was make believe. You know what I mean? Okay. And then I think I tried to cement it. I thought boys, little boys gave girls gifts. So it was about time for me to get her a gift. So I went in my mom's jewelry box and got some gold earrings out of there, gave them to her. You know what I mean? And I thought seemingly everything was going to be fine until my mom came looking for me at that said park. You know what I mean? And she's going around asking everybody, have you seen my daughter Ivy? And have you seen my daughter Ivy? Nobody knows who the hell Ivy is. You know what I mean? So I could have been in the clear in that situation if she hadn't noticed this white girl with these big door knockers on her face. You know what I'm saying? If
you're talking about the door knocker earrings that you had taken out your
earrings, you know what I mean? It was the gold earrings that really blew my cover. That ended up blowing my cover was these door knockers that I gave this little white girl. That's the first thing that's out of place. You know what I mean? She wasn't Matlock or Murder, She Wrote, but she's not dumb.
Right. But I'm loving that. I'm loving the way you tell that story. And you said, and then she says, so nice earrings, little girl.
Right. Because that was the thing, right? Because that was really the reason I got the real butt whooping. That butt whooping was cemented because she told us, oh, hey, where'd you get those earrings from? And she goes, oh, my boyfriend Evan gave them to me. You know what I mean? My boyfriend Evan gave them to me. And then my mom describes what I'm wearing. And then the little girl confirms, oh, that's the same thing her boyfriend Evan is currently wearing.
Right, she's like, oh, you're talking about Evan, the one with the Nike sweatshirt and the Puma?
The one with the Bulls jersey. Yeah, it was awful. It was absolutely awful.
And then the moral of your story was?
Sometimes it's not worth it. It's not worth it to lie. I think after that, I kind of like curbed that. I didn't want to look over my shoulder. Consequences are real when you're lying. That was the moral of the story.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I remember. That's what I know. If you ask me about stories, I know consequences.
Right. And that's how you learned.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the way you told that story, Ivy, it was just really amazing. And everybody loved it because the truth is we've all fallen in love, had a first crush. And it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, from Asia, from Africa. It doesn't matter. We've all had these moments. All right. So look, we're going to talk more when we come forward. All of this in the sweet spot.
More of Areva Martin in real time when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. A report says President-elect Trump will nominate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. Trump has made mention of Kennedy perhaps joining his cabinet after Kennedy dropped out of the race and endorsed Trump. Wall Street is closing with stocks lower. This comes as Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell gave remarks in Dallas and said the central bank doesn't need to be in a hurry to cut rates. Baltimore City has reached a settlement in a lawsuit aimed at making sure sidewalks, curb ramps, and other pedestrian rights of way are compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Under the agreement, the city will invest $44 million on upgrades over the next 4 years. And Craig Melvin, who is Black, is set to replace Hoda Kotb as host on NBC's Today Show. Kotb's final show as host will be January 10th after she announced earlier this year she will be departing to spend more time with her family. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Watch for heavy traffic forming from Burbank's Buena Vista Street, Riverside Drive interchange as an accident blocks the right lane of the 134 West at Hollywood Way, Alameda Avenue split. Hit-run accident has been reported on the right shoulder of downtown's 110 North after Olympic Boulevard, 9th Street split, and heavy traffic is coming from the Imperial Highway. Watch for slowing coming from North Hollywood on the 134 West connected to the northbound 101-170 freeway as a stall is currently on the right shoulder. Also, continue to be advised that slowing continues over in Irwindale as 2 cars involved in in an accident has CHP on scene assisting at the 210 West before Irwindale Avenue. And in Cerritos, 2 cars involved in an accident are still running heavy, blocking the right lane of the 605 North before South Street.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer custom-made faux wood and real wood blinds and shutters, cellular shades, Roman shades, bamboo shades, exterior shades, and more, all at factory direct prices. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
If you miss seeing Mike Tyson in the ring, here's your chance for a reunion. The former heavyweight champion, now 58, has an 8-round matchup Friday night in Arlington, Texas, against YouTube and MMA celebrity Jake Paul. The fight will be shown live on Netflix. The fight will be a traditional boxing match with boxing rules. Tyson is appearing in his first sanctioned fight in almost 20 years. This is only the 11th fight for the 27-year-old Paul, who has 7 knockouts. But Paul has not faced anyone on the level of a Mike Tyson. Even at 58, Tyson knows his way around the ring. A couple of leftover notes from LeBron's third straight triple-double last night against Memphis. LeBron now has 116 regular season triple-doubles in his 22-year career. 40 of those triple-doubles were achieved with 30 or more points. LeBron goes for 4 in a row tomorrow night at San Antonio. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Pick up the drums. At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Silverado, Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 22.2%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take me to delivery by 12/2/24.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You could earn one for free in as few as 5 months. Online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach, plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their program. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
And I'm Angelique Francis, and I'm stepping in for Areva Martin in real time. I'm so excited to be here. My show is Living in the Sweet Spot on Saturdays at 3 o'clock and Sundays at 4 o'clock. We are excited because we got a big show coming up. It is Sweet Spot Live on Sunday, November 17th at the Miracle Theater. If you don't know where that is, that's 226 South Market Street in Inglewood. California. You don't want to miss it. Last year, we did this show. We brought 10 storytellers on stage. They told their story short, to the point. People were going crazy. They loved the stories. They laughed, they cried, they cheered. It was really pretty amazing. But they were stories told by you guys on stage. Because you know what? We got a lot to talk about. They were riveting. They were funny. They were they were really, really, really emotional, but more importantly, they were surprising. They had you on the edge of your seat. So you really don't want to miss it. Come on back out, check them out. We got all new storytellers, new stories, and I'm going to be there. Some hosts that you want to meet. I want to meet. We got Zoe Williams will be there. We got just a bunch of hosts. You don't want to miss it. Robin Ayers will be there. So come on out, hang out with us, meet some of your favorite hosts in person. I'm excited. With me right now, we've got Ivy Lindsay. She is one of our storytellers from last year. You just heard an incredible story, but I want to talk to Lindsay about her experience. And Ivy, we're talking about Ivy, not Evan right now, but Ivy, Ivy, what I found is that not only did it affect the audience in a real way, the storytellers were affected in ways that it can't even. I'm just so grateful. I was honored to direct you all, to help you write your stories, to help you craft your stories. But I'm so really blown away how every time I do anything like this, that you all say that your lives were changed. How were you affected by this experience?
I think for me, it was rewarding to be on stage in front of that many people and hear the laughter. I think there's just something so beautiful about that sound, you know. Out of all the things that we can do as human beings, like hearing laughter and sharing laughter with other people is probably one of the most beautiful things. And, you know, that's just something that an aspiration that I always had was to be on stage and to create laughter with an audience. So and I think because I'm so used to being behind the scenes, it's not something that I really push for, you know, because I'm always person making it happen and the person producing things. So for me, it was really a lumbering passion and something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. So, and I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it because I was really reluctant to do it at first because my time, or at least I thought my business schedule wasn't going to allow it. And so you were trying to ask me to do it, and I was kind of like, oh, you know, Angelique, I don't know if I have time for this. You know what I mean? I don't. This is all nice and everything, you know, but I don't know if I have time to be a part of it. But ultimately, I'm really glad that I did. You know.
So tell me about one story that affected you most during this process. I mean, I know that lots of them affected.
Yeah, there was so many. I mean, Kathy's story was really good, and I mean, gosh, Monko's story and Jackie. Obviously,
but you have to kind of be more specific because they weren't there.
I know there's just so many. I mean, but if I have to say one that was really like kind of, it gripped me in a sense of just how life can roll out sometimes. It was Monko's story, and the idea that he had been away, you know, in the military, and he had this child you know, abroad, and then he didn't grow up in this child's life because he didn't know that this child existed, and then he finds out that this child exists, and then he tries to blend this child's life with his, you know, so he can have a father figure in his life. And they spend a short time getting a chance to know each other before he influences his son to join the military as well. And then his son joins the military to follow his father's footsteps. And it seems like
he gets shipped off to Afghanistan.
Then he gets sent off to Afghanistan, and then he eventually passes away. He eventually dies in the military. And it's just extremely sad just to think about all the time that they could have had together, right? And then by the time he rekindles this relationship, it's just that quick, you know? And it was all for the purpose, and it was all for a good purpose. The origin of it was to bond.
What was beautiful about the way he told his story was that, you know, he meets this kid and he wants desperately to have this relationship and to be a great influence. So when they finally fall in love with each other, and the kid is a young teenager, and he falls in love with his dad, and his dad falls in love with him, and he just wants to be like his dad, which is this army guy, right? Which is this officer. So without waiting for his dad's guidance, he just goes, joins the army. And the first thing they do with the army is they try to sign you up for what do you call it? Artillery duty. And because Afghanistan was underway, they signed him up and gave him like a $30,000 bonus to be artillery. And they put him right on the front line.
I didn't realize that they were giving them bonuses to do that.
Yes, they give you bonus because that is high risk. And that's what they did. They offered him this bonus.
Wow.
And he thought he was doing a great thing and that, you know,
Wow.
this is a great thing, Dad.
Wow.
And Munko tells this story that, you know, he was so proud of his son because he, you know, he influenced him to be this man and to serve his country. But he didn't know that he was going to sign up for artillery duty. He would have said, don't do that.
Right.
But his son just wanted to be like his dad. So here he is. He's talking to his son on this particular day, this morning, and his son calls him and says, "Hey, Dad, have you read Conversations with God?" And Munko says he didn't want to tell his son that he hadn't read it. He said, "Oh, son, well, let's talk about it later. It's awfully early. Why you call me so early from Afghanistan?" And he said, "Call me a little bit later," because he hadn't read the book. And then later that day, he gets a call. Like 24 hours later, he gets a call that his son had been killed in the line of duty. And his son was due to come home like 30 days later.
Yeah.
But when he said is all he knew was that he and his son wanted to serve and do some cool stuff. And that together they had figured out how to serve their country and do some cool stuff. Right? That was amazing. What an incredible sacrifice. But what an incredible way to tell his story.
The bravery really to sit up. I don't know. That was hard. It was hard to sit up there and not to break down, but I guess he's probably broken down a million times.
Yeah. So when we come forward, we're going to talk a little bit more. This is Areva Martin Real Time, and we're living in the sweet spot.
You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company. Join the Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center for a great day in Black Hollywood, Friday, November 15th, 7 p.m. at the Regal LA Live Theaters, downtown Los Angeles. This is the opening night celebration of the 30th annual S.E. Manley African American Short Film Showcase, honoring Deborah Pratt, Lyndon Barrios, Janine Sherman Barrios, Art Sims, Dee Stevens, Gina Lemieux Davis, and Dr. Gloria Zervine. The weekend continues on Saturday, November 16th and November 17th with over 60 short films and industry panels on careers in Hollywood and directors on directing. Get your tickets today at bherc.org or call 323-957-4656. Again, 323-957-4656. See you there. That's bherc.org.
Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. By any other name, we demand environmental justice in 2024 and beyond. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
There's no time.
All right. If you are listening, I'm Angelique Francis of Living in the Sweet Spot, and this is Areva Martin in real time. You are not hearing things. I am stepping in for her today, and I am honored to do that. Well, I have a guest with me. She is one of my storytellers. I'm excited as always. Ivy Lindsay.
What's up, Angelique?
I am just excited that you're still here.
I would never leave. I would never leave. We're having such a good conversation.
I'm not going to be able to get rid of you, huh? I don't know if you know, but in addition to my 8 storytellers this time around, I have a comedian that is going to come and tell a story. This comedian has been around LA a long time, but is a national comedian, originally from Long Beach. I don't know if you know Scruncho, but Scruncho is off the chain. Scruncho has come from a very diverse background, have served some time, has been shot at a couple of times, so has gone through some trauma. Have you heard Scruncho before?
No, but I can imagine if you've been shot at, you've got to have a story.
Yeah, got some stories, but got his start with Eddie Griffin, has gone out on tour with Mike Epps and Cat Williams and Cedric the Entertainer, done some TV, and he is ready to tell his story. He's going to be on stage live, so it's going to be lit on Sunday. Look, I don't normally I don't really look for comedians or anything like that. I just want real people on stage. But when he heard what I was doing, he's like, Angelique, I got a story I want to tell. And so I said, all right, look, but I'm gonna treat you just like all the other storytellers. You ain't coming in here acting like the star of the show now. And I'm an equal opportunity lover of story, right? Because story is it's really what this is about. It's about building empathy. It's about building community. It's about caring about us because I care about our story, because the story is everything, right? And one thing that happens over and over and over is when I bring this ensemble of people with story, and it's happening right now. You're not in this particular ensemble this time up, but the bonding that happens. And I saw it happen with your group, and it's happening with this group. You fell in love with Jackie Goucher, right?
Absolutely.
Jackie Goucher was one of my dearest friends. She and I have done work together for 25 years. From my first play, my first musical that I directed and produced, to Sweet Spot, where she was one of my storytellers, and she's been on this show, Living in the Sweet Spot. She's been on Tavish's show here on KBLA, where she just came and told her story. Then she wrote a book about her 3 kings. So she's all about telling her story. Her sons are Sir, Davion, D Smoke, and Derry, and so she has come, and she did that on our stage, right, when she told that story musically.
Really beautiful story.
And I'm just honored that before she passed, she had a horrific accident on Easter Sunday, and before she passed, she did this show, and she was able to grace us with her presence on stage and tell her story musically, right? How did that affect your life, and how did you experience her?
I think Jackie's story was a story of resilience, really. It seemed like she had overcome a lot, and I think we were just talking about empathy, and it's like I think it was hard to hear her story and not have empathy for what she had gone through. And also, I understand and empathize because I understand grief. You know, I understand how grief can make you make choices that you may not have made. You know what I mean? In your life, but the turnaround that she made, you know, through music and her connection with music was really, really beautiful. And I think music probably helps a lot of people step out of hard times. And so, yeah, that was a really beautiful story. And it's even more beautiful that her legacy continues through the music with her children. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, without a doubt. She's affected so many musicians, so many praise worship leaders. She also is the author, the writer of the song My Help, which is a standard throughout gospel music, has been downloaded and re-recorded and downloaded probably I think the running record is over 2 million times around the world. And I love that, and I love her story. And I don't know if I told you, Ivy, her brother Anthony Goucher is also one of our storytellers this time around. And so I'm excited for all of our storytellers. I'm excited that you're here. I know that I'm gonna get you back on that stage time and time again. You know, the other storyteller who I was really excited, you know, speaking of, we're on Areva Martin in real time. Areva runs an incredible organization called Special Needs Network, and she does lots of work in the field of autism and other special needs. But Dwayne Cox works for special needs. In fact, I was looking for someone who may have some special needs, and I wanted to make sure and tell their story. She said, I got this young guy, he works for me, you should check out Dwayne Cox. And I happen to have grown up with Dwayne Cox Sr. and went to school with Naomi. And so I was like, are you talking about Dwayne Cox, the doctor? She said, no, his son. So when I met Dwayne, you know, I gave Dwayne a chance. And was he amazing or what?
Dwayne, he's phenomenal. You know what I mean? I can't say
Dwayne
enough.
Dwayne is autistic on the spectrum, high functioning on the spectrum. So tell them quickly about Dwayne, his story, and how that affected you.
I think for me, it's just the fact that he's just so honest. You know what I mean? And so his delivery, it can't help but come off comical. But then I think the main point was the fact that he doesn't see his condition as anything different. If anything, he kind of looks at us strange, you know what I mean, in terms of his story. So I thought that was really one of the funny aspects of it, to give perspective of what it's like looking out of the eyes of someone who's autistic. You know?
Well, his whole story was about, you guys think I'm the one with special needs?
Yeah.
Y'all are the ones who are acting up, acting crazy, acting inhumane, acting, you know, riled up, and, you know, not following the rules. All of you people, all my classmates who are, you know, getting kicked out of museums and all the things on these field trips, I'm the one that was behaving correctly, following the rules.
Right.
And you think I'm the problem.
Right.
So he was hilarious. I think he wants to follow, he wants to be a comedian and write comedy. And I think he is so on target. Well, he's coming back on stage this time around. You'll see him. He's funny as all good out, as always. And listen, you got to come on out. It's the Miracle Theater. Sweet Spot Live is going to be, once again, at the Miracle Theater, 4:00 on November 17th. That's this Sunday. Get your tickets online at the miracleinglewood.com. That's where you can get tickets in advance. We're also selling tickets at the door, but if you get them in advance, they're cheaper, $35. At the door, they're $45. There are group rates available if you email the theater directly. I don't think you want to miss it. I don't think you want to miss it.
Come out, people. Come out. Here's some great stories. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be fun. And, you know, like I said, Scruncho's going to be hanging out. I swear, I've been trying to find space to tell a story because, you know, I got some funny stories. My issue is I've got, you know, I've been writing a sitcom. I think I told you this, Ivy, of dating over 50. And
oh my gosh, no. Oh, wait. Maybe you did tell me this. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, I got a lot of date stories. So I keep trying to find room in the schedule just to talk about some of my crazy dates.
No, I want to hear this.
Maybe I can find room to just talk about some of these crazy dates.
Can you give us a sample of just a little bit, or are you just going to say that and just leave us hanging? I'm just wondering.
Well, I got a whole sitcom season. I got season 1 of a whole sitcom of my. I thought this is the real talk. I thought that I was.
Are you pitching to me right now?
I kind of am. I
Okay,
thought
all
I
right.
was going. I'm pitching to the world. I
Okay,
thought I was going to be interviewing my girlfriends about their dates.
Yeah.
And then I realized in a year's time, I got a whole season of my own crazy dates.
Okay.
I don't even need anybody else's dates.
Okay.
So, it's all good. It's all good. But remember, we talk about story, and I think I could create a little empathy if I just tell you about some of my own dates. I don't know. I think maybe I need a matchmaker. Do I need a matchmaker?
Yeah, let me be your matchmaker, Angelique.
Okay, well, I'm
with
it.
What are you talking? Long walks on the beach, tall, dark, and handsome. What are we looking for here?
Look, I had a wish list about 2 years ago. My wish list is getting shorter and shorter. Now I'm about to put it on a Post-it. My wish list is about to be Post-it size.
Yeah, just anybody right now. Anybody who's sane right now.
I don't know about LA. I don't know about LA. Maybe St. Louis.
Oh, whoa, I didn't say that. I don't know. I can't speak for the guys in St. Louis. I really can't. I can't.
Well, all I can say is we're going to appreciate Areva Martin for letting us come here in real time.
Thank you, Areva.
So much, Areva Martin. We sending you love always. Thank you so much, everybody, for living with us in the sweet spot. Thank you here at KBLA. We've got love from the East Coast to the West Coast always. Check us out at the Miracle Theater this Sunday, 4:00. Don't miss it. Sweet Spot Live. Always sending love. Peace.
Peace.